Fire Knight Hard 10 is one of the most difficult dungeons, in my opinion, in the game. Does it need a nerf? Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So this video started out as me trying to showcase a team that one of my clan members and friends, Icky Ray, who's been a member of our community going almost all the way back to the beginning. And what I wanted to do was showcase a team that they use on hard Fire Knight 10 that doesn't use any Gnuts. So this is the team. Now I tried to record it twice, and unfortunately this team is not 100%. But I feel like without a Gnut, this is probably the closest that you could maybe get to a team that works. And they were able to use this team to get past the hard 10 missions for Marius. And so I wanted to showcase this team. I wanted to share this team with you guys and be like, hey, build this team. But it's not 100%. That's not Icky's fault. That's not. This team is built really well. It's not Icky's fault. Honestly, I think that Fire Knight either is a little overtuned or needs another champion to come in and fill in the gaps with Fire Knight. So that's what I wanted. I decided to pivot and talk about that in the video here. Real quick, if you're looking to be part of my account takeover series, join the Discord below. But a little heads up, I'll be prioritizing accounts that were started with my exclusive promo link. This will also guarantee you a free legendary Elenaril and 3 amazing free epics as you level up. Here's what you need to do. Log out of Player and Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. You'll get Elenaril for free along with Uugo, Tagoar, Rector Drath, and a better chance at a takeover. So click my link right now. So let's talk about these 3 champions, what their role is. These are just 2 ally attackers, and Padrig being particularly good here. But let's talk about these 3 champions and why I'm frustrated with them and why I think another champion would be better. First, we're going to look at Neldor. Now, I would say that if it was me, I would try to make them a little bit faster and maybe avoid the crit rate and the damage part of their kit because they're not really contributing to damage. If I was building a team, however, I don't have that much of a problem here with their overall build. I would like to build a little bit faster, maybe for Neldor, but let's look at the overall kit here and talk specifically about what you're getting. So you get a triple hitter. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Why is this valuable? If you haven't done hard Fire Knight, on hard Fire Knight, if you go to place a freeze, it actually reduces Fire Knight's turn meter. So if you get lucky, and that's actually, sorry, it books up to a 40% chance. If you get lucky and hit on a 40% chance multiple times, you can get turn meter control of the Fire Knight, right? We have Cryodan. Cryodan has a 25, books up to 35% chance of freezing an enemy. Again, also on a triple hitter. So what was Neldor? Neldor was 40% and a 35% chance. So both of these are under a 50% chance to land a freeze. Neldor has an interesting passive where if an ally places a freeze, then there's a chance that Neldor will have a 30% chance to use their A1 and give another chance to freeze, right? So there is a potential there that you can get more turn meter control with Neldor. That is a good idea, but there's a problem. Before we move on, I also want to talk about Yakarl has a 50% chance to land a freeze on a 2x hitter on their A1 when booked, right? And so you've got 3 different champions in here who all have percentage chances to freeze. And I want to talk about why that is a bit of a problem. As somebody that has made many young accounts, one of the best ways to progress in early game Fire Knight is turn meter manipulation using certain champions. Armiger being one of them, who I don't know if he has one in the vault. He does, so we can look at the kit here. So Armiger is a single hitter, which you would prefer multi-hitter, but a single hitter decreases the turn meter by 30% if the attack is critical. What does that mean? So for regular Fire Knight, this uncommon champion only needs to have 100% crit rate, and they can decrease decrease a big chunk of turn meter on the boss Fire Knight, regular Fire Knight. Well, then we have things like Allure, who has a similar kit. A triple hitter decreases the target's turn meter by 25% on each critical hit. If she has a 100% crit rate, she will manipulate the turn meter of Fire Knight. So when they created Fire Knight Hard, they said, well, we don't want you to just be able to turn meter manipulate him. We've introduced champions that are very good at that, but that have achieved that goal. So we're going to introduce a new mechanic and say, well, if freeze the Fire Knight, then that's how you reduce the turn meter. And then they gave us a really, really good champion for doing that. Now, they don't have this champion, but Gnut has a triple hitter. When booked, has 100% chance to place freeze if they don't do the normal decrease of the turn meter. So you have a triple hitter and 3 times you have a chance to freeze. Very effective against the boss. Problem that I have is for regular Fire Knight, you have an uncommon and an epic that can completely solve the boss. For hard Fire Knight, you only have 1 legendary, to my knowledge. Feel free to tell me in the comments if I'm sleeping on anybody, that can truly solve the fight. And it's very frustrating if you don't have this champion. Were they a fusion? Yes, they were. But when I made a video a few months ago about where I had 2 Gnuts on my team and I got the speeds right and figured everything out and finally got the team to go 100% on stage 10. When I finally figured that out, everybody came down on me and was like, well, you have 2 Gnuts, you have 2 Gnuts, you know, like, and so I was like, oh, I'll just put Neldor and Cryodan in there. No problem. I got this. I tried to make that team and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Now, in Icky's case, the team does work, but it's not 100%. And I feel like an account that is this strong should have a way to get through Fire Knight Hard 10 with 100%. This is a pretty deep account. It's not the deepest, right? You know, we're a little low on mythicals and other things, but when you really consider what their roster is, I'd like to believe that an account that's been playing for as long as this one, you know, should be able to complete Hard Fire Knight 10. And I'm not complaining because I have a team that can do it, right? I'm lucky enough to have this team right here, which, as you can see, very common thread, Padrig and Mikage, right? So I have this team. The only difference is instead of having a 40% chance and a 35% chance to land my freezes, I have a 100% chance and a 100% chance, to the point where I don't even need to bring an additional freeze in Yakarl as my wave clear. I can bring someone who hits harder and can consistently clear the waves very quickly so that I can get a much faster run at 2 minutes, where the few successful runs that happen for Icky here is 5 minutes and 33 seconds. And this is like almost twice as frustrating, because not only do you have a team that is not 100% and will most of the time fail, but you also have to wait 5 minutes just to find out if it did or did not fail, right? At least in some cases, when you have teams that are not 100%, you can just say, okay, well, it's a 97% chance team, but if I fail, I only lost a minute and some energy, and it'll just keep going. In this case, you got to wait 5 minutes and the team still might fail. I understand that I'm complaining a bit here, but I don't know how else to do it. And by all means, guys, we are open to suggestions. If you have built a successful team like this, right? If you have built a team that uses Cryodan, Neldor, maybe not even Yakarl, maybe you use somebody else, but if you built a team that successfully can complete Hard 10 without Gnut, feel free to link the team and all their stats and everything that you did in my Discord. That's the best way to communicate with us, because I'd love to pass that on to Icky, and I'd love to pass that on to my viewers as well, because I'm not aware of a team that can do it. And that brings me back to the introduction of the video. Is Fire Knight overtuned? Is it still too hard, even with the introduction of Neldor and the introduction of Cryodan? Or am I expecting too much? Am I demanding too much out of Icky's account? Maybe Icky's account isn't as developed as I think it should be. But let's look at build on these champions very quickly. So for Mikage, we've got 346 speed, but for Padrig, we've got 400 speed, right? Like, this is, I don't have a single champion on my account at 400 speed. I can't get there. I don't have the gear for it. Yet, here is an account that can get to 400 speed, which I would argue means that they are better than my account, but cannot consistently do hard Fire Knight. I don't like areas of the game being gate kept behind, you know, something like that. My Mikage is, I think, a little bit faster than his. So he's 346. My Mikage, 347. Yeah, right? So he's on par. I would actually say better, more developed than my account. But just because I have two of a really good legendary and he doesn't, I'm able to push content with 100% consistency that he is unfortunately not able to do. And I don't like that. I don't think that's fair. And I would like to see something implemented. What I would really like to see, and I want to be very specific about, I would like to see either another legendary come along or preferably an epic, maybe even a void epic if you want to be like, make it a little harder to get. But I would like to see a void epic that is kind of in the realm of Allure. And I would even go so far as to be very specific, because if you were to create an A1 that has a triple hitter with 100% chance to freeze if critical, I think that you're running the risk of that manipulating other areas of the game, right? And I wouldn't want that. Now, granted, nobody's doing that with Allure, but freeze is not turn meter reduction, right? Freeze is a lot more powerful of an ability than turn meter reduction, and I'm sure they don't want to end up. Granted, nobody's using Gnut in PvP. I say nobody, not a lot of people are using Gnut in PvP, so I'm not particularly afraid of an A1 that has that kind of power, but I do think a single target with 100% chance to freeze when critical, and I would even go so far as to say if the target is a boss, I think that would be pretty good. You're basically creating a Armiger for hard Fire Knight is kind of what I'm thinking. And I think if you were to create a champion like that, you're now elevating the value of Cryodan and Neldor respectively, because while you could keep them at a low percentage of opportunity to land a freeze, because you have that one person that can guarantee a freeze, even on a single target hitter, you have the chance to get value out of Neldor more, right? So Neldor can trigger more often, but because you are getting that 100% chance, because I really think that's what the team that Icky has built here depends on. That's why it's not 100%. If you don't get a Neldor proc, then you don't get that extra freeze, and now you've lost control of the fight, and it's over. I understand this is a little bit of a rant, but it's coming from a point of frustration for me, because I want to show you guys some cool content. I want to show you alternative ways. I don't just want to brag about my really strong teams that have double Gnut, right? That's not the type of channel I want to be. But when I'm playing on an account that is arguably better than my main account, and they struggle to do something that I can do with ease just because of those two champions, I feel bad. It frustrates me, and I don't like that. So I don't know what needs to happen, if maybe Fire Knight needs a change, or if maybe they need to buff Cryodan Neldor or introduce a new champion altogether. But Icky here is not the only person that has an issue with this. It's in my comments section. It's in my Discord. It's in my clan Discord. It's in the comment section of many other videos that talk about hard Fire Knight. This is a problem for the early, late game, mid game, and even some very, very unlucky late game players are also dealing with this challenge, and I think it does need to be addressed. Are there bigger issues in Raid Shadow Legends? Yes, there are. I would love to see some changes to this area, especially when hard Fire Knight 10 is gatekeeping one of the best champions in the game that can completely change an account in Marius. But again, this started as a video where I was going to be like, hey, check out this team that I think that'll make you all very happy, and it just kind of proved the point in the comments. A lot of you said to me, which was, hey, this is really hard content and it's only easy because you have two Gnuts. You were right. 1000% you guys were right. And I will forever be on a mission to try and find another team that can find 100% success without needing a single Gnut, let alone two, because I want to be able to create that video for you guys and show you how to get that to work. Either way, we're going to call that a video here. I just want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed enjoyed this. I know I'm complaining a little bit. It is what it is. But if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I am pushing to 5,000 and I want to keep making videos like this. I want to try and find some really fun videos, even if I have to go to another account to do it, so that I can share my experience with you guys and share those teams with you. The best way to support me in that mission is to click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Take care.